Everyone, what's happening? My name is Samuel, and I'm a manager with Brahman Home Inspections. I come today before you guys to bring another video about the roof inspection. This is somewhere in Leesburg, Virginia, Northern Virginia. Okay, the outline for today is going to be the general overview of the roof, the style of roof, ventilation system, the flashing, the valleys, conditions of roof covering, vents, gutters, and the downspouts. Okay, as you can see here, this is a overview picture of the roof. We conducted this inspection using our drone. Uh, we have a DJI Phantom drone. One important thing I want to say is if you're a home inspector and you're out there, you want to operate and you want to use a drone, just ensure you're using the drone the correct way. To utilize a drone for pay commercially requires that you hold the United States of America Department of Transportation FAA, that's the Federal Aviation Administration, remote pilot certification. And it also requires for you to go to a ground school and take the training that you're going to need to pass this exam. This is not an easy exam that you can just show up for and pass. It's a pretty brutal exam, but it's something that can definitely be passed, and you can use this type technology when you're out there and you're conducting your home inspections safely from the ground. Also, we do use ladders to perform home inspections with Brahmins. We have a 32-foot ladder is what's going to require, and that's what's going to get you on top of a two-story roof. You're not going to do it with a 28-foot ladder if you can handle the 32-foot ladder. Also, we have a camera pole. Camera poles are good, especially in the uh, DC metro area where we're operating, Northern Virginia, DC, because there's a lot of controlled airspace. And that's the type of stuff you're going to be learning and you're going to need to know when you're operating a drone and you're operating that drone safely. Okay. The style of roof that we're looking at here is a gable roof, and that's a typical type of roof that you're going to see. It's the one that comes to mind. It's the one that's pitched like a teepee. This one is a steep roof. Uh, and you can see also on the roof the ventilation across the top. We can see the ridge ventilation of the roof here, here, and here. Also, you'll see other vents on the roof, such as your plumbing stack vent, and there you're going to see, and you'll see in later slides, that's your B vent. That's where your uh, furnace will be exhausting. In this home, it's a forced uh, gas furnace and flashing. Where these penetrations are along the roof, there's going to be flashing, and you're going to need to have flashing along these penetrations. Good flashing is going to protect the deck of your roof. It's going to prevent moisture intrusion. It's going to prevent the byproducts of moisture intrusion, such as fungus growth and mold growth, which could then turn into an indoor air or structural issue. Water is the enemy of your home. That's why we begin with the roof. Your roof is your first line defense against the elements. And now we're looking here at the valley. And the valley is the points where the plane and that dormer meet and where they connect. And wherever there is a break, there should be flashing. So underneath this asphalt shingle, this is 3 tab that we're looking at. There is flashing. This is a closed valley, so we cannot see the flashing. And I definitely wanted to point that out in the inspection. However, theoretically, if this is an open valley, and sometimes you'll see roofs that have the open valleys, you'll see that flashing. It'll be copper. It'll be some other galvanized metal that's there, and that protects your roof from moisture intrusion. Condition of your roof covering. If you can see, as you can see in the top left with the circle, there's this brown rust looking color discoloration, and that's exactly what that was. When I was on the ground looking and observing this, I didn't quite know what was going on. Then I seen a tube come out over this window here that you see. Okay, awesome, right here. There was a tube, it was approximately up here somewhere over the window. And sometimes that's what they do when you have a unit that's in the attic. This furnace, or one of the furnaces here, there was a couple furnaces, was in the attic, and it was overflowing with water. The primary condensate line was disconnected, and water was continuously dripping here on the point where I have the circle. And it caused many issues. Not only the aesthetics and the rust coloration, but also it's wearing down the protective layer of your asphalt shingle, which is the gravel that's on top of your asphalt shingle. That gravel protects the uh, asphalt underneath from the sun. The sun, if it hits the asphalt, it's eventually going to dry it out, and that can cause moisture penetrations and damage to your roof. One thing it can also do is, if your roofing material is under warranty, it could void out the warranty because of the damage that it did and nothing was done about it. So, and that's why they do put the condensate line over a window, so that you can see that there is some type of issue with your HVAC, and you can call out the technician to get the proper repairs to um, that system. But definitely, I put that in the report. I noted it. I had a discussion with the client about this. Here's another defect. It's a tear in that 3-tab shingle. And this is something that can be repaired simply by using some roofing cement. The roofing cement can seal that tear. It's a common way to repair it. Again, you don't want any moisture penetrations in your home. Moisture is the enemy of your home. And some of these pictures are definitely are from my home inspection report themselves. I got permissions to use these pictures from my clients. Here you see a nail pop. Not sure if you really see it, but here in the picture, the shingle's being lifted from the nail working its way out from the roofing deck. And that's a pathway for moisture. I've been in attics and I've seen where uh, the nail heads hadn't been covered properly with the roofing cement, or there's been nail pops and the water has traveled into the attic down the shaft of the nail. It's an easy fix. It's something that needs to be fixed. You don't want any water getting into your home. A wet home is an overall unhealthy home. Okay, this is the condition of the roof covering. Here, the pictures that you're looking at from top to bottom is a shingle. I flew my drone over the edge here. I'm looking at the fascia here. I'm looking at the soffit. I'm looking in the gutters to ensure that they're clean. And I think in this home they did have some granules in the gutter. It shows a little bit of the aging of the home. Uh, the shingles were approaching or nearing their expected life. So that's something that the owners and the new owners who will eventually buy it may want to consider in their budget within the next few years. But that was a shingle. It was missing. So a missing shingle means that somewhere there's an opening. There may be underlayment exposed. it's a point where water can get into the attic and cause issues with the home. Here at the bottom, what you're looking at is some typical moss growth. It's something that can easily be cleaned. There's products you can buy at Home Depot. So it's not a huge issue. However, excessive moss could potentially be an issue with your home, depending on circumstances. Here we see the ventilation. There's the plane of the roof. We're assessing the planes of the roof, making sure they're not dipping, which could be indicators of structural issues with the rafters or the truss, depending on what you're going to see in the attic. We want to look at the home holistically, the roof, the structure, the water flow, investigating the home as we go down the home, and how the multiple different components of a home um, interact with one another to form a healthy, functional home that's comfortable. Again, we're going to look at, I'm looking at the gutters to ensure that they're generally cleaned, because we want the water to flow from the gutters down through the downspouts, is what you're going to see on the next slide. These are very minor issues. It's some rusting on the B vent, and this is the type of, the B vent's just a technical term. It's just a vent that um, it, that is used, and that's where your the byproducts of burning your natural gas are exiting the home. I simply recommended using a sandpaper or something like a Dremel tool, take some of the rust off, uh, paint it with a product such as Rust-Oleum that's meant for these type vents. You see it, it's common, it's going to protect it, and it's going to increase the life of it. And here's just a picture of that plumbing stack or that plumbing vent. Now here's the downspouts, the gutters and the downspouts. As you can see here in the arrows, I've depicted where the gutters and downspouts are draining right there at the foundation, which can cause myriad of issues with the foundation, especially this type of foundation. This is a basement style foundation, so that water, that hydrostatic pressure that's pressing against there, it could cause frost heaving against the foundation wall. It could cause those horizontal line crackings and lateral crackings. Also, in the bottom left, you see where the downspout is dumping essentially right next to the foundation, and as that water soaks into the foundation wall itself, which brick does absorb water, and it freezes and it causes chipping, and that's what I'm pointing out here, the chipping of the foundation wall. So there's a myriad of issues that could happen, and then people spend thousands of dollars with a contractor making a draining system around their home because they're having foundation issues due to the bulk water over the year being dumped right there in that pinpoint area of their foundation. They could save a lot of money by going to Home Depot and simply putting a 6 foot extension piece of plastic. It's dollars, but it could save thousands of dollars in foundation repair. This is the first line that I would recommend to a client, is to simply get the water away from your foundation and watch your grading, and you could save thousands of dollars from having to hire a contractor to remediate the issues that you're having with your foundation. That's it in a nutshell. If you have any questions, this is our information. We're Brahman Home Inspections. You can get us at 202-494-5499 or at the below website. We do know that buying a home is a major, heavy emotional decision, and there can be a lot of anxiety, especially around here. Homes in Northern Virginia, let's face it, they're not cheap. $500,000 or more, depending on the area that you buy. The closer to DC, you know, you may be getting into $1 million. So there's a lot of anxiety in purchasing a home. So it's always a good idea, and I would recommend to have that home inspection contingency in that contract, to hire a licensed and insured professional home inspector. Virginia has some of the best home inspectors out there in the nation. You can give us a call at Brahman, and we can definitely help you out along the journey, in disclosing what's hidden in these homes, so you as a consumer can make a more informed decision on probably the biggest investment that you're going to make in your life, the biggest investment that most people have, and that's in their home. So for sure, again, I'm Samuel with Brahman. You can call and you can ask for me today, and we can talk about what we can do to help you in this process.